Everyone. So this is our annual Wildly Connected workshop. I say annual because this is the second year that we are going to be doing this, and I'm definitely without fail going to be doing it every single year because I absolutely love doing it. I love doing it for all of you. I love doing it for myself. And over the last few years, I've done various different versions of this practice at the end of the year, and this to me just covers absolutely everything. And you'll see on the screen it says reflect, align, dream, and plan. And that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. So, for those of you who maybe don't know, I know a lot of you pretty well already, but my name is Hayley and I am a holistic career and business coach. And I specialize in helping people get clarity on their dream life. So, like I say, it's very much a holistic approach where we look at all areas of your life, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be reflecting on our year on 2025, and then we are going to be aligning with what we truly want for the upcoming year. And I really want everyone today to dream big and dream with clarity. And then we are going to be planning and starting to think about actionable goals in relation to our dreams. So I've introduced myself already. Dom is also here today assisting me. And just a few pieces of housekeeping before we dive in. Like I said, I'd love to see your faces on camera. So if you would like, turn them on. If you don't want to, that's also totally fine. And also people often will prefer to turn their cameras off when they're journaling, just so they don't feel like anyone is watching them while they're writing, which no one's going to be watching you. But if you want to do that, that is all good. So yeah, if you have a pen and notebook, that's great. Dom is going to be sharing some docs in the chat, so you are able to type directly if you would prefer. But if you are someone that likes to write, then make sure you have pen and notebook now. And I would highly recommend limiting distractions. If there's other people around, maybe politely ask them to go into the other room. If you have your phone to hand, it's such a bad habit of so many of us, myself included, picking up your phone and then just scrolling. So yeah, you need to be fully immersed in this. So just throw your phone in the next room. And like I say, we're going to be journaling today through these 4 pillars, and the final one is more of a visualization exercise. I'm going to be allocating maximum 10 minutes to the journaling. So I do encourage you to, if you're not using the doc, which has already got the questions on, just to make sure you do, first of all, write down all the questions before you start journaling, so that if you don't have enough time to write your answers down, you can go back to this, because it's, yeah, giving just 10 minutes is really not going to be enough time for you to think about this really, really carefully. But we are allowing about an hour today. So I want to make sure that, like I say, I'm honoring your time. And then also feel free to share in the chat as you wish. I will prompt you a couple of times to share. The more people that share, other people will feel comfortable. I'll also be sharing, Dom will be sharing. So yeah, this is a very safe space. Okay, so officially we are going to get started and dig deep, ready to make 2026 the best year yet. And this is all about focusing on you now. So let's get started. So first of all, let's think about how often you actually pause to reflect on anything, on your dreams, your goals, on how your day was. Reflection is so important. And the reasons it's so important is because we can learn from our experiences and identify patterns of behavior. It might be positive patterns that we want to continue to cultivate. It may be negative things that we want to stop. It also gives us an opportunity to celebrate and acknowledge our wins and our growth and our achievements, which is really, really important to do because we have them all the time. Micro wins, big ones, it doesn't matter. But to keep your momentum on heading in the direction that you really want to be heading, it's important that you acknowledge these. It's also helpful for overcoming limiting beliefs and gaining confidence within yourself. And it also can help you to clarify what your core values are and make sure that you are living in alignment to these. Even if you are someone and you're sat here right now thinking, I actually have done the inner work on figuring out my core values, I'm very clear about what these are. What you may not realize if you're not reflecting is that you might be slipping into situations that are not actually in alignment with your values. So reflecting can just bring you back to these. It's also an opportunity to enhance your own self-awareness and to foster gratitude for yourself, for other people around you, for this journey that you are on. And lastly, it also helps to refocus goals and your life's purpose and direction, which I know can be a scary thought and overwhelming for some people. And also, I do want to add that this can change and it will change throughout your life. So, reflecting is a way for you to make sure that you are heading in the right direction. So, we are going to be jumping into the first set of journaling prompts where we're going to be reflecting. So Dom is going to put a doc in the chat. And if you would like to use that, you can just make a copy of it and then you can type directly into that. Like I say, if you would prefer just to write down, then you're welcome to do that. So the first one is, what were my three biggest wins and achievements this year? And you can think of wins and achievements related to your personal life as well as your professional life. The second question is, what were three challenges I faced and what were the lessons that I learned from them? And then the third and final prompt is, what three moments in 2025 brought me the most joy or fulfillment? So I really want you to think about moments of pure happiness because, of course, in 2026, you're going to want to have more of those. So we're going to take around 10 minutes maximum now. So like I say, if you would like to turn off your screen, you can do. I am going to leave these questions up on the screen so that you can continue to look at them and write them down. We've got just 1 more minute, so you can start to finish up. And like I say, if you're not using the doc, then if you want to just make sure you've got all of the questions written down before we move on. Also, if anyone is ready, I would love for you to share in the chat. I would really love if you could share in relation to the last question. So hopefully you have all gotten to that point, but any moments of pure joy that you had this year. Moving into your own place and your dream city is a huge one. You'll see that I also shared for me, it was my big birthday. I will let you all just guess how old I well don't guess in the chat, but I mean just guess in your heads how old I turned. But yeah, I never normally celebrate birthdays and just had a really special one this year because it was a big one. And I think now I'm going to actually start celebrating birthdays because I really enjoyed it. Having December off, amazing. And that's why you can join us here today. I love that. And your cat jumps on your back doing yoga. I'm sure that just really makes you smile. Animals are the best. Okay, we're going to move on, but please continue to share in the chat and we can always come back to this a little bit later. Okay. So I would also love for you to think about what one word you feel would sum up 2025 for you and share this word in the chat. I know it's a tough one to choose just one word. Change, growth. Mine was evolve. I feel like change can be positive or negative. So that's an interesting one. Challenging, right? Yeah. It's interesting to see, some people have more positive, some people have maybe more negative. Positive change. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. I actually really encourage you, like I said, I'm going to be doing this annually, and I really encourage you to keep note of these words that you have because how cool is it to be in a situation where you can look back one day over all of the words that you had for each year of your life eventually. Whirlwind. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the second section now, which is aligning. And what I mean by align is to align our core values and what is most important to us in our life with the actions that we take and how we can fully achieve what we want from life and live authentically with our values, like I mentioned in the beginning. And when we are aligned, so many positive things happen. Some of them you won't even necessarily realize are happening. You will literally just feel happier. And the reason for that is because you are going to be more motivated, more determined. Big decisions become easy. If you think about it, if you have a big decision to make, if you simply just ask your core values and you realize that you are living in alignment with that, then you know something is going to be a yes or a no answer very, very quickly. You can also avoid burnout, stress, anxiety, something that I think a lot of people assume when they are unhappy in their jobs or they're feeling tired or burned out. People think that it relates to too many hours, working too much, but it pretty much never does. It always relates to being out of alignment with your career. You'll also feel more fulfilled and you can have long-term satisfaction and more achievements. And you can also just feel grounded and at peace. And we could all do with more peace in our lives. So we're going to be moving on to the journaling section of this. So again, there is going to be a doc which you can make use of, and you can just make a copy or you can just write this down. So the prompts for the alignment section are: what are the top 3 things that truly matter to me, both in my personal and in my professional life? The second question is, what 3 core values do I want to prioritize more in 2026? Now, I do understand that for any of you who maybe are unsure of your core values, this could be a tricky one. But even if you can get to a point of just figuring out maybe what a couple of your core values are within this question, and then you can always go back to the more detailed aspect of what you want to prioritize. And the last question is, what am I currently doing or not doing that feels out of alignment, and why? So again, we're going to take around 10 minutes to do this. We've just got another minute on this one. And when you are ready for this, I'm going to also actually ask you to share the last question, your answer to the last question, which is what are you currently doing or not doing that feels out of alignment and why? Okay, so we've come to the end of the 10 minutes. So if anyone else wants to share, got some good ones already. Choosing my battles, putting so much time and energy into a career that no longer fully aligns with my values. It's amazing to at least to have come to that realization because that's the first step. Not prioritizing learning more about my interests and hobbies. So important. Life is truly all about balance. For myself, I'd said that I've not been doing my daily yoga and meditation, which I have no excuses. I should be doing it because it just does me a world of good. So you can continue to add things in the chat as you wish, and we're going to be moving on, just being mindful of time. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, I really want you to be dreaming big here. No more playing small. And I'm going to say no more because I'm sure many of you are. I am also guilty of this. But it's cliche, but life truly is too short to not go after what you want in life. And there's no reason why you can't have that. But of course, before you dream big, you need to know and you need to understand what it is that you want. And you need to know in detail what exactly this looks like. So the next exercise is going to be slightly different. You are still going to have some journaling time, but before we get to that point, I am going to be reading out some words and you are going to be visualizing. And what you are visualizing is your dream life. And then at the end, that's where you'll be writing down what comes up for you. So I'm going to be guiding you along with this. And it is important to remember that this is not your current life. When I've done this before with some people, they've sort of switched into thinking, oh, what do I normally do? Like, what does my day to day look like? But unless any of you are living your 100% perfect dream life right now, which is probably unlikely, then you need to really think about what it is exactly you want for your future. And this is an incredibly powerful practice. You need to be fully focused. So, freeing your mind of distractions and being present in this moment. So, you can turn your cameras off if you would like for this, because again, no one's going to be watching you. But if you feel more comfortable, that's fine because you are going to be just getting comfortable now and you are going to be closing down your eyes and just take 3 deep breaths in and out at your own pace. You're just going to be listening to my voice, nothing else. I want you to imagine that you are just waking up for the day. And I just want you to notice how you feel as you wake up. Notice the time of day and how you're waking up. Maybe you're waking up naturally, bird sounds outside, the sun shining through your window. Maybe someone else is waking you up. You can hear laughter in your house. Just become aware of all of the sounds that you can hear in this moment. And feel how you feel. Maybe you are excited for your day. You're content with your surroundings. You may feel relaxed and calm as you start to fully wake up. Now turn your attention to the space that you are in and what surrounds you. Notice the room that you are waking up in. And think about the details. What size is it? The layout, the light. How do you feel in your room? What atmosphere is it creating? Observe the colors, the furniture, and the objects around you. And notice what feels familiar or intentional about this space. And take a look out your window. What do you see right outside? You can also slowly start to become aware of whether you are alone in this moment or if people are around you. Maybe it's children, a partner, animals. Just notice who is with you and notice their presence and how their presence makes you feel. Be happy, content, safe. And if you're on your own, notice how that feels. Experience this. And simply observe what is true in this moment for you without judgment. Notice the first small actions that you want to do to start your day. How your body moves. Notice what you decide to wear and how these clothes make you feel as you put them on your body. Notice how your clothing supports the way you choose to move as you prepare for your day. Begin to notice more about your environment. What can you smell in the air? What does the temperature feel like? The quality of light. What are your next steps that you take? Maybe you decide to move your body. What does that look like? Maybe it's time to have a drink, eat some food. What do you have? Where are you sitting when you have this? Who else is around you? And just notice how these actions fit into the rhythm of your day, a day that you have chosen for yourself as your dream life. Now you're going to shift your attention to your career, towards your work day. Think about what time this begins. Maybe it's really early in the morning. Maybe it's later, late morning. Maybe you're working just half a day and you start in the afternoon or in the evening. Do you travel somewhere to get into your workplace? And if so, how? How does that travel make you feel? Or maybe you're working at home. Notice how you move between your morning routine, your personal time into your work day and how that feels for you. And notice your state of mind. Arriving in your workspace now, just take a minute to take your environment in. Notice the space and the layout and the energy in the room. You might be indoors, outdoors, maybe other people are present. You might be around a team, or maybe your preference is to be working alone. Now feel into your role within your work. Are you leading, contributing, supporting, creating? What skills and talents do you feel like you're utilizing within this workday? And just observe how you show up in your work and how this makes you feel. Energized, happy, fulfilled, motivated. And what occupies your attention as you go through your workday? What types of tasks are you engaged in? And notice how your day is structured, the pace of the day, whether there's movement between activity or you're pausing. Just think about how you feel. Now you're going to imagine your workday coming to an end. And notice how it feels to be finishing up with your day. What signals that your workday is complete? Is it a certain time? Is it when you feel that it's ready? And how do you feel as you wrap up your day? Maybe successful, creative. And as you finish up with whatever work you're doing, turn your attention to the rest of the day in front of you, noting that your day feels balanced, maybe balanced between work, family, friends, some quality alone time. And just think of that transition out of work into your afternoon or evening, where you go, who you're encountering, and how your evening unfolds. And what fills your evening? Notice how you spend your time. What is your evening routine to wind down? And what feels present and meaningful as part of this day? Maybe you've got time to reflect on your day. Now, as you wind down for bed, I want you to return back to the space that you remember from this morning and think about the physical sensations of resting and how this feels. And think about how you feel physically getting into bed. The sense of the day ending, your sheets, the temperature of the room. And just stay with this for another minute, keeping your eyes closed. When you feel ready, you are welcome to open your eyes up. So for many of you, most of you here, that will probably be the first time you've done something like that. And now we are going to take a few minutes, only 5 minutes because of timing, just to journal on things that came up for you. You don't need to write the whole experience from start to finish, but think about like the room, the environment, the location. What job were you doing? And I have added here that I would love for you to journal in this further when you have more time, and also create a vision board before January around what your dream life looks like, because having a visual in front of you that you see every single day can be really powerful to helping you achieve exactly your dream life. So let's just take a few minutes. Okay, we're going to be finishing up with that now. If anyone wants to share in the chat how they found that. Is it something you've done before? Did something come up for you that was surprising? Did it unlock some sort of breakthrough? Is it similar to what your life is like now? I would love to know. I can't put anything in the chat because I did not do it myself because I was talking it through, but I have done this many times before, and that's why I know it's so powerful. Amazing. Dreaming big. Great. Yeah, not called dream life for nothing. Amazing. Yeah, it's all about taking small, slow steps. You're not going to be expected after this workshop to magically figure your whole life out. It's a process, right? Okay, well, feel free to continue to add in the chat, and we are going to be moving on to planning, talking logistics. I feel like this is the less fun part of this, but it is an important step and it shouldn't be overlooked because this is where you actually take strategic action steps. And if you don't have clear goals and you don't know how you're going to move in the direction that you want to move in, then you simply won't succeed. And you can't rely on manifestation alone, meaning just thinking something or speaking something into existence. I'm not sure, you probably can't all see this, but like literally my mug right now, it says dreams are only dreams until you wake up and make them real, right? So that is exactly what we need to do. So I want to talk to goals and action steps a little bit. And we don't have a ton of time to note this down. So even if you, well, Dom's going to put a doc again in the group, but I really want you to come away at the end of this, even if it's after the workshop, spend some time thinking about what are your 3 key goals that you want to achieve in 2026. And also, what is the timeline that you are setting yourself for these? And be realistic with your timeline as well. What are 3 small action steps per goal that you can do to achieve each of these goals? And again, what is the timeline for these? So let's say, for example, if one of your big goals is you want to move to another city, okay, that's great. But now you need to come up with 3 small action steps as to how you are going to do that. Maybe an action step is going to be research the rental market in the area to find out what are the costs. Maybe an action step is going to be to join some community pages, maybe on Facebook within that area and start asking questions. Maybe an action step is to book a trip to that area so that you can make sure and get a feel for the area. And the final prompt with this is, what habits do I need to either let go of or to create to ensure that I'm successful in reaching your goals? Because old keys will not open new doors. So we're just going to take a couple of minutes here. Even if you just write these questions down, just start thinking of, even for now, like focus on the key goals, I would suggest, because you can figure out the smaller action steps once you do that. And if anyone would like to share one of their goals in the chat, then feel free. Consider us your accountability buddies, where we are going to hold you accountable for making this happen. Buy a car. Big one. Not going back to what is familiar and certain. Great one. You'll see I've put mine in there, which is no longer be an employee, which is something I'm already taking action steps on. For those of you who don't know, I have some businesses and I'm also an employee working for someone else. So that will no longer be a thing in a few months. Okay, and we're going to move on to one word that you want to embody for 2026. So think about the new year, new you, think of future you, which is a concept that I don't have time to go into today, but share your one word in the chat with everybody. Possibility, mine was peace, change, flourish, another change, sparkle, love that. And make sure you've written these words down for yourself as well, because remember what I said, it's great if you can have all these words eventually. Success. Yes, great. So, congratulations, because showing up today, you have already taken this big, important step. And this is the first action step. We were just talking about action steps to move you in the direction of your dreams. And I'm really excited to see what all of you achieve in 2026. It is really important to hold yourself accountable. So do work on those action steps and to make this happen. And I would recommend that at least quarterly throughout the next year, you reevaluate where you're at. Sit with yourself, spend some time, and just think about how far you've come, what you need to change. Are you sticking with the habits and the goals that you have set for yourself? And also, have things change? Maybe your dreams have changed a little bit. And that visualization that we just did, you don't need me, you don't need my voice to be able to do that. You can absolutely just close down your eyes wherever, anytime, find a spot alone, and yeah, just take the time to think about where you're at. I also want to explain about my signature course. So this is my online course, and it is called Aligning Dreams with Career Clarity. And this is for you if you are someone that is feeling a little bit lost and confused right now, maybe out of alignment, or maybe you're feeling like some areas of your life are going in the right direction, but it's not all fitting together holistically and you are out of balance. And if you feel like something's holding you back, but you don't know what it is, then this is the course for you. This is going to guide you to clarity on your dream career or business. And it's going to be very much in alignment with your values, your lifestyle, what's most important to you. We're going to be delving into things like limiting beliefs and swapping these out for empowering ones, because the number one thing that stops us from moving forward in our dreams is our limiting beliefs, which again, we haven't had time to get into in much detail today, but it's something that's really important. And I see Sonia's just said she's doing the course currently. Still, I know I think you're probably nearly finished now, but loving it, and that it was really helpful. And I think it will probably be okay for me to share that Sonia actually got clarity on changing her career within this and changing her job and stuff. So it really is very impactful, and it's an online course, so it's myself talking on camera, and we craft a sustainable action plan to help you become future you based on your dream life. So Dom has put a PDF in the chat, and she's going to put the direct link as well. There it is. So if you want to check it out, then I suggest you just copy and paste that, download the PDF. And Dom, if you could also just pop my email in as well, so that if anybody does have any questions, then of course you are welcome to